The centaur didn't answer. He had astonishingly blue eyes like pale sapphires. He looked carefully at Harry, his eyes lingering on the scar which stood out, livid, on Harry's forehead. "You are that Potter boy," he said. "You had better get back to Hagrid. The forest is not safe at this time, especially for you. Can you ride? It'll be quicker this way." "My name is Ferenz," he added, as he lowered himself onto the ground so that Harry could clamber onto his back. There was suddenly a sound of more galloping from the other side of the clearing. Ronan and Bane came bursting through the trees, their flanks heavy and sweating. "Ferenz!" Bane thundered. "What are you doing? You have a human on your back. Have you no shame? Are you a common mule?" "Do you realize who this is?" said Ferenz. "This is the Potter boy. The quicker he leaves the forest, the better." "What have we been telling him?" growled Bane. "Remember, Ferenz, we are sworn not to set ourselves against the heavens. Have we not read what is to come in the movements of the planets?" Ronan pawed the ground nervously. "I'm sure Ferenz thought he was acting for the best," he said in his gloomy voice. Bane kicked his back legs in anger. "For the best? What is that to do with us? Centaurs are concerned with what has been foretold. It is not our business to run around like donkeys after stray humans in the forest." Ferenz suddenly reared his hind legs in anger so that Harry had to grab his shoulders to stay on. "Do you not see that unicorn?" Ferenz bellowed at Bane. "Do you not understand why it was killed? Or have the planets not let you in on a secret? I set myself against what is lurking in this forest, Bane. Yes, with humans alongside me if I must." And Ferenz whisked around, with Harry clutching on as best he could. They plunged off into trees, leaving Ronan and Bane behind them. Harry didn't have a clue what was going on. Why is Bane so angry?" he asked. "What was the thing you saved me from anyways?" Ferenz was slow to walk, warned Harry to keep his head bowed in case of low-hanging branches, but did not answer Harry's question. They made their ways through the trees in silence for so long that Harry thought Ferenz didn't want to talk to him anymore. They were passing through a particularly dense patch of trees, however, when Ferenz suddenly stopped. "Harry Potter, do you know what unicorn blood is used for?" "No," said Harry, startled by the odd question. "We've only used the horn and tail hair in potions." "That's because it is a monstrous thing to slay a unicorn," said Ferenz. "Only one who has nothing to lose and everything to gain would commit such a crime. The blood of a unicorn will keep you alive, even if you are an inch from death, but at a terrible price. You have slain something pure and defenseless to save yourself, and you will have but a half-life, a cursed life, from the moment the blood touches your lips." Harry stared at the back of Ferenz's head, which was dappled silver in the moonlight. But who would be that desperate? He wondered aloud. If you're going to be cursed forever, death's better, isn't it? "It is," Ferenz agreed, "unless you need to stay alive long enough to drink something else. Something that will bring you back to full strength and power. Something that will mean you can never die. Mr. Potter, do you know what is hidden at the school at this very moment?" "The Sorcerer's Stone, of course. But the elixir of life. But I don't understand." "Can you think of nobody who has waited many years to return to power? Who has clung to life, awaiting their chance?" It was as though an iron fist clenched suddenly around Harry's heart. Over the rustling of trees, he seemed to hear once more what Hagrid had told him on the night they had met. "Some say he died. Codswallop, in my opinion. Don't know if he had enough human in him to die." "Do you mean," Harry croaked, "that was Harry! Are you all right?" Hermione was running towards them down the path. Hagrid was puffing along behind her. "I'm fine," said Harry, hardly knowing what he was saying. "The unicorn is dead, Hagrid. It's in the clearing back there." "This is where I leave you," Ferenz murmured as Hagrid hurried off to examine the unicorn. "You are safe now." Harry slid off his back. "Good luck, Harry Potter," said Ferenz. "The planets have been read wrongly before now, even by centaurs. I hope this is one of those times." He turned and cantered into the depths of the forest, leaving Harry shivering behind them. Ron had fallen asleep in the dark common room, waiting for them to return. He shouted something about Quidditch fouls when Harry roughly shook him awake. In a matter of seconds, though, He was wide-eyed as Harry began to tell him and Hermione what had happened in the forest. Harry couldn't sit down. He paced up and down in front of the fire. He was still shaking. Snape wants the stone for Voldemort, and Voldemort's waiting in the forest. All this time, we thought Snape just wanted to get rich. Stop saying his name, said Ron in a terrified whisper, as if he thought Voldemort could hear him. Harry wasn't listening. Byrne saved me, but he shouldn't have done. Bane was furious. He was talking about interfering with what the planet says is going to happen. They must show that Voldemort's coming back. Bane thinks Ferin should have let Voldemort kill me. I suppose that's written in the stars as well. Stop saying his name, Ron hissed. So all I've got to do now is wait for Snape to steal the stone, Harry went on feverishly. Then Voldemort will be able to come around and finish me off. Well, I suppose Bane will be happy. Hermione looked very frightened, but she had a word of comfort. Harry, everyone says Dumbledore is the only one you-know-who was ever afraid of. With Dumbledore around, you-know-who won't touch you. Anyway, who says the Centaurs are right? It sounds like a fortune-telling to me, and Professor McGonagall says they're very imprecise branch of magic. The sky had turned to light before they stopped talking. They went to bed exhausted, their throats sore, but the night's surprises weren't over. When Harry pulled back his sheets, he found his invisibility cloak neatly folded underneath them. There was a note pinned to it, just in case. So that's the end of chapter 15. We'll read chapter 16 on Monday.